This episode is brought to you by thedolphinwars.com.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday episode of King Dolphin TV. I am Raymond. I am the author of the Dolphin Wars trilogy of books and ruler of the greatest pod on YouTube. This is episode 403, and it's been a while. You know him. You love him. Our favorite hedgehog, Pudgy, is here.
It's Mr. Raymond time. 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 It's Mr. Raymond time on King Dolphin TV. Yay! Hi, Mr. Raymond. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Pudgy. It is good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yay!
Yay! Before we get started with our discussion with Pudgy, if you like King Dolphin TV, if you love these interviews, if you love the reviews, the comics, the Radio King Dolphin TV, and of course Just Cuz, please like, subscribe, engage, so we can beat down the anger rhythm of YouTube. You know how angry that monster can be. And also, if you are also so inclined, please help keep the lights on here at the channel by either doing as FKHC says, don't have Snorty and Trike pay you a visit. Pay in super chats, super stickers, or the tip link here. And Mr. Snorter Poopus Cuber has been gracious enough to bring up the tip line. So, and there it is. And so, help keep the lights on here at the channel.
An important clarification, everybody. That's a monetary tip. It's not a tip for the show. Unless you want to give Mr. Raymond lots and lots of money, and then he'll be like, sure, give me tips all day long.
And again, you don't want those two, the collectors known as Snorty and Trike, coming to visit you. Because you'll probably have to pay for the door after it gets knocked down.
Yeah, step 1, Snorty the Poopus knocks on door. Step 2, door falls down. Step 3, Snorty the Poopus goes into your fridge and eats all the Brunschweiger. Step 4, he jumps up and down a couple times. Step 5, durdle. Step 6, you got 5 minutes to pay up, otherwise he's going to start tooting.
Oh, and between Snort's toots and Trike's toots, that can be toxic. Highly toxic. All right, so let me welcome. Snort says, here's a tip, don't play in the street.
Ha.
Yeah. All right, so let me welcome everybody who's here.
That's right, Snort. Hashtag toot. Toot.
Hashtag toot. Snorter Cooper says, hello, Pudgy. Hello, Cobalt, the eagle behind the hedgehog.
Hi.
And yes, hello to Cobalt, the technical director behind Pudgy the hedgehog.
Hello.
Welcome, sir. It's been a while. So let me welcome everybody who is here right now. We don't have a guest right now. No one has guested yet, but we have our amazing lifeguard corps. We've got Sandra, our producer, King Dolphin TV in color, stereo, where available, HDMI if you want it. NordVPN, who cares? And this is a Sandra Feliciano presentation. We also got Trike sleeping around here somewhere. He hasn't terrorized anybody. We've got FKHC 2005. We've got Legatus Legionai. And we've got Pudgy. You do it so well.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Oops. Wait, come on, what's Pudgy supposed to be doing?
Pudgy, stop looking at the phone. You're supposed to pay attention to Mr. Raymond when he gives you directions.
We got to introduce the baddest bear on the internet.
Okay, put down the phone, Pudgy. Stop looking at biscuits. Okay.
Oh, okay. Pudgy's getting official directions from COBALT. Live, unedited, uncensored. It's the baddest polar bear in the North American continent. It's Snortopoopas Cuber! Yay!
Snortopoopas! Cuber. There we go. All right. That is a rather dapper looking bear.
Yes, it is.
Yep. It'd be even better if he was inverted too. All right. So it has been so long since we have had a chat with Pudgy and COBALT. So what has been? FKHC says, and in his furry birthday suit.
Well, there's a reason, FKHC, why that image is from the chest up, because if it was any further south, Mr. Raymond would be demonetized.
Good point. Good point, Pudgy. So, it has been so long, and I know you've been doing a lot of good stuff on your channel. What's been going on in Friendship Town?
It's been really, really busy. Pudgy's been working with COBALT. Every day, Pudgy's been releasing content for Christmas Catastrophe, which is the latest Pudgy story series. Pudgy's been doing shorts because shorts seem to be the way to go, to get the content out. Because whenever COBALT showed Pudgy something called the analytics page, it was crystal clear to see what was going on with the Pudgy story. So the short format seems to be working pretty good, and now the full version of Christmas Catastrophe has been recorded and uploaded. So all the shorts are pointing to the full version, which Pudgy couldn't believe it. It was a total 88 shorts for the story. Wow. And then that worked out to be like almost 3 hours for the entire series.
Wowzers. And where is that, the full thing for Christmas Catastrophe?
That's over on the Pudgy Hedgehog Adventures channel here on YouTube. And then if you look under the podcast section for Pudgy Storytime Podcast, that's where you can see the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pudgy's been working with COBALT on the next story series, which is it's called Land of Sorrow.
Yes, I read that one. I read that one when it was just in the printed.
Yeah, over on the Pudgy story site.
Mm-hmm.
So often. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Every so often, Pudgy says to COBALT, should we get the story site running again? And COBALT's like, no, because whenever he was running it, at first it was doing pretty good, and then then traffic died off, and then even if Pudgy, or even if Cobalt switched Pudgy to the free version of that site where it would put advertisements all over the page, we tried that for a little while, and the traffic was still not going anywhere to that site. Main reason because just because of the way things work on the internet, and as things progress, people stopped going to WordPress for the story site. And there's Trike. Hi, Trike.
Hey, Trike. Yeah, he's barking at something. He's saying, "Yay, Pudgy's here!"
Yay!
I've got the website here. Let me show you.
Yeah, the Pudgy story site's no longer in operation. That's been completely shut down. So things worked out a lot better over on YouTube, video wise. Just for a time, Pudgy thought about putting the stuff over on Twitch, but Twitch has a different video on demand storage system. Basically, like when Pudgy does a Twitch live stream, it stays on their server for 7 days, and then after the 7 days, it deletes. So that's the reason why whenever Pudgy does a live stream, a couple days afterwards, Pudgy has Cobalt move the video on demand from Twitch over to the YouTube page.
Okay. All right. Actually found the site with the full Christmas catastrophes.
Yeah, since Pudgy has
There you go.
yep, there it is. Yay! Yeah, it's under the podcast section for Pudgy Storytime. Chris, here's the thing: if you click on videos, episode 97, Christmas Catastrophe, full version is right front and center. Yeah, so either way, but with it set up for podcast format, if you have YouTube Music on your phone or in your car, yes, Trike, Pudgy's getting to it. Yeah, if you have YouTube Music, you can listen to it as an audiobook.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Here's the funny part. So far, since Pudgy's been running the channel, and it's been, Pudgy can't believe it, it's been 2 years already for the Pudgy. Yeah, for the Pudgy channel. In the 2 years, ever since Pudgy started doing podcasts, Pudgy has gotten a grand total of 2 listens.
Oh.
And it's because of the way YouTube Music works. It's a very common complaint with podcasters. That's the reason why everyone is over on that Spotify thingy. Pudgy was talking to Cobalt about going over there, but the problem is that you have to have a hosting site, and then you have to set up some sort of R thingy that Pudgy doesn't know about, and it's going to cost Cobalt money to do hosting services. So we're like, Pudgy's like, it doesn't matter. Just leave everything on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I know for a fact that just StreamYards, the way they did last year, just aggravates me.
Well, you could do what Pudgy does, for doing the live streams over on Twitter. Well, no, not Twitter. Pudgy. You have to pay Mr. Elon Man to be able to stream to Twitter. Twitch. Pudgy uses OBS for the broadcast software, and then whenever Pudgy does collaborations where people join, Pudgy uses Discord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Discord's free. It's once you have everything configured right, it's pretty easy to use. Chris, here's the thing: Pudgy has this grand idea. Hey, Cobalt, can we put a thingy on the screen? And the Cobalt's like, Okay, Pudgy. And then 2 hours later, Pudgy finds eagle feathers everywhere, and then the thingy works, and then Cobalt's like, I'm going home.
Oh yeah, if you guys got questions for Pudgy, feel free to put them on. This is totally unscripted.
Yeah, live, unedited, uncensored, unvarnished,
Unforgiven.
unforgiven.
All right. Hello, Phantom Outsider. How are you, sir?
Hello.
And Snort says, Trike wants to know why he doesn't have a channel. Oh, man.
Mr. Raymond's working on it.
Yeah. Actually, Sandra's got a pretty good thing with Trike cams. And the shorts seem to be really good on that. So, but,
Yeah, really. Everyone says the same thing.
mhm.
To Pudgy. We want long-form content, and every time Pudgy does long-form content,
Mhm.
and when Pudgy says long-form, like 10 minutes or more, it gets like at most 5 views.
Mhm.
But Pudgy does a short, and so far the best short that Pudgy's done so far, which was a gaming short, it was 1,600 views. And it was for a 2-minute instructional on how to do blacksmithing in Vintage Story. So, the gaming shorts do really well. The story shorts, for the most part, they do pretty good. Pudgy goes anywhere between 200 to 400 views typically for a story short. Although every so often the numbers go off kilter, it's because the algorithm. Whenever Pudgy does a Sunday story short, it doesn't seem to do as well as the other days during the week, which doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the way that YouTube is, so Pudgy just has to roll with it, and if things go completely haywire, Pudgy says Cobalt, and then Cobalt looks into it.
Yep. And Cobalt is doing an amazing technical support. He's the technical support eagle.
And marketing and accounting and public relations.
Yeah, true. Wait a minute. Public relations? Isn't Pudgy in charge of that?
That's a good question. Well, for the most part, Pudgy does do that part, but sometimes Cobalt has to help Pudgy with a response. Because there was one time someone's like, "I can't understand you, Pudgy," and Pudgy's like, "Oh, okay." So that required some adjustments to Pudgy's special audio software.
Ah, okay.
Which, speaking of which, Pudgy and Cobalt's been. Wait, maybe you should explain this, Cobalt.
Tag teaming.
Yeah, tag team back again. Can't sing the rest of that song, otherwise, it's going to be a copy notice.
Mm-hmm. So what?
Basically, I'm tweaking the settings on Pudgy's special microphone, so to make them a little bit more understandable. It's whenever he was using his original voice, especially like Stark of Iron, he would always say, "I can't understand Pudgy. I can't understand Pudgy." So made the changes, and for the most part, he can understand them now, but every so often it's like, I can't understand them. So it's one part software and one part microphone, and one part, gotta keep reminded Pudgy, do not swing on the microphone arm.
Oh.
Come on, Cobalt. It's so much fun.
And you need to get you need to get the microphone tripod and not the arm.
Oh no, the one I got for him is really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got a heavy duty clamp that clamps down on the desk, full metal,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts of articulation. It's made out of heavy duty black powder coated metal. So basically, because you are correct, the one that had the thin metal with the springs, it constantly did things, and we were picking up spring noises all the time because somebody wanted to keep moving the mic up and down.
No.
But it was so much fun. Microphone go up, microphone go down. Microphone go up, microphone go down.
Yeah, those are kind of fun to do it that way. I have one of those too. 3 points of articulation.
Yeah, but on the plus side, it is keeping the bunnies busy.
Oh. The bunnies? Uh-oh.
Yeah, Cobalt put the microphone stand out there with the old mic the Pudgy was using, out so the bunnies could play with it. And for the most part, they have a lot of fun playing with that microphone. And they talk in the microphone, and they think they're helping out on the Pudgy show. Pudgy hasn't told them yet that they're not. That microphone's not connected to the mixer board.
Oh, is your mixer board? Remember the mixer board we had at PodCon? Is yours anything like that?
Okay, Pudgy uses.
Yeah, let me take over for this. We're using Elgato equipment, so we have a Elgato Stream Deck, and it's a Stream Deck Plus. So it's got 8 programmable buttons, to do various tasks. Then there's 4 audio control dials, which you can program different inputs into. So that controls the various audio levels for the various parts of the broadcast. We're also running a Elgato Wave XLR microphone and digital amplifier. So Pudgy's got expensive tastes here, but
I see that. I've just got a microphone, my computer, and a camcorder, and of course my iPad. Man, you do got an expensive taste, Pudgy.
Well, see, here's the thing. We started off with less expensive equipment, and as things continue to progress, it's resulting in additional, more specialized equipment purchases. Because here's the thing, everybody: whenever you start something like this, like Pudgy says,
Cobalt, Pudgy wants a YouTube channel.
it requires a lot of research and planning. So you start off with the low expense equipment, and then as you find out what you need, then you start adding stuff into it. There's a lot of people, they drop top dollar on super specialized equipment, and they have no idea what it all does. But it's like, hey, I got a Go XLR and all this other stuff, and it's like, it's not necessarily a good idea, especially if you drop it a year later. It's like, hey, I spent $10,000 on the equipment, and
Oh, boy. I hope you haven't spent out $10,000.
Oh no, Cobalt, he sets a limit on equipment and software purchases, and so no, we haven't hit that level yet. See, there's a spreadsheet, and Pudgy's like, oh no, Cobalt made a spreadsheet, and it itemizes everything Cobalt spent, everything Pudgy spent, everything that we've made back. in donations or earnings from Twitch, and the road to break even continues.
I know what you guys mean. Okay. All right. Let's do some questions out in the chat. Phantom Outsider says, Pudgy, does Cobalt Eagle like his seeds loose or in bell form?
Well, it depends on what we can find. Sometimes there's the bell, and Pudgy looks up in the Cobalt's tree. He's laying on the back, wings spread out, talons up in the air, and if it has a bell, it's bunching away. Or sometimes it's just loose. It depends on what we can find. There was a truck that was nearby that had a whole bunch of pet food in it, and once Pudgy found it, all the bobcats and the beavers and the bunnies and Mr. Bear, and a couple deer and Mr. Elk showed up, and we got into the truck, and it was glorious. There was all sorts of stuff in that truck. But then the big problem in Pudgy's world is that all the humans went away, so the trucks that we're finding are either A, empty, or B, the food's going bad in them. Chris, the beavers found one truck underneath the lake that's to the south of Friendship Town, and they're like, "Oh boy, Pudgy, we found Twinkies," and Pudgy's like, "Oh, Twinkies," and they're like, "Well, the boxes are all mushy," and Pudgy's like, "But is the inner plastic still good?" And they're like, "No, they were empty too." But all the beavers, all their mouths were covered in white frosting.
Uh-oh.
They ate the Twinkies. No, Pudgy, they're all ruined. But that's okay. The beavers are nice. And, although Pudgy didn't know beavers like Twinkies. Of course, they've been to Pudgy's forest enough times. Pudgy's baking cakes and pies and biscuits and all those other fun things. And they don't normally eat it. They typically just stick with wood or maple syrup or those sort of things. Oh, speaking of maple syrup, we found one tree, a maple tree that would actually do syrup because it takes time for the tree to develop, and then it's also dependent on a lot of factors, especially if it rains a lot. And so we had one maple tree ready to go, and Mr. Bear helped Pudgy tap it. So we got the little bucket underneath. Well, the bucket disappeared. Why? Because the beavers decided to sit underneath the tree with their mouths open and just sat there all day long until the maple sap came out. And they're like, "Oh," and Pudgy's like, "Put the bucket back." Because here's the thing, everybody. If you want to make maple syrup, the stuff that comes out of the tree is the raw component to it. And you have to boil the water solution to get the excess water off of it. So you start off with like 2 gallons of maple sap water, and then you might wind up with like a little bowl of maple syrup.
Yes, I know. I had a friend who took a look at my maple tree and said, "Oh, you should tap it." I said, "Yeah, right." Let's see. Pudgy, are you now, or have you ever been mistaken for a groundhog from Phantom Outsider?
No one's mistook Pudgy for a groundhog. Sometimes a visitor to the forest will call Pudgy a porcupine because Pudgy's got quills, and Pudgy's like, "No, Pudgy's a hedgehog." And like, "Oh, okay, Pudgy."
Okay. Pudgy, Snortopupus asks, Pudgy, do you write with a quill pen?
Pudgy does have one, but the big problem with quill pens is the tips snap all the time. So unfortunately, fortunately / unfortunately, fortunately, Pudgy figured out how to carve it to make them last longer. Unfortunately, Cobalt gets mad at Pudgy a lot.
Why?
I told you, only pull the loose feathers,
Oh,
not the ones that are still connected.
Oh. So
Sorry, Cobalt.
you use eagle feathers direct from the source. Ouch. That would hurt.
Yeah, Pudgy learned to ask first, not just walk over it, and tug.
Yeah, that's quite considerate. FKHC says, does Pudgy swear when he plays games?
Okay, for the most part, 99% of the time, no. But every so often, Pudgy has to use technical language, and the most usually the strongest thing that Pudgy says is "son of a mother's uncle."
Mm.
Although there is one exception. There is a game that Pudgy plays during Halloween time. It's called Demonologist, and it's a really good ghosty hunting type game with demons. There's there's an audio device. It looks like a walkie-talkie in the game, and it will pick up your microphone. So when Pudgy's talking in the game, the ghost will respond to Pudgy's voice. So to get the one type of demon to spawn, you do have to say a bad word. So in that one scenario for that one game, or whenever giant spiders that attacked Pudgy in Vintage Story another time, Pudgy has used the S word.
You mean shine? Or shoe? Shaving cream?
It involves hitting someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that S word. Of course. But so if you're over on Twitch, there's lots of people, and there are some people that use lots and lots of technical language all during the stream. Pudgy played with a really nice guy from Australia, and the Australia guy taught Pudgy all sorts of new words to say. And the first thing that Cobalt said to Pudgy was, "No, Pudgy, don't say the Australian words."
That's wise advice. Okay, let's see. Phantom Outsider asks, okay, Pudgy, what is Snortopupus's favorite cookie?
Oh, well, Snortopupus likes all cookies.
Yes.
But specifically, he wants a bear-sized cookie.
That's true.
Whatever cookie is available that's 2 to 3 feet in diameter.
Good point.
Although, fun fact, everybody, the world's largest cookie was made in North Carolina, and it was 101 feet in diameter.
What a cookie.
Yeah. Boy, can you imagine? Well, actually, in order to bake it, they had to basically make a big, gigantic metal pan, and they built a whole bunch of fires underneath it to cook it from underneath. But can you imagine if there was an oven that size?
Oh, yeah. That'd be crazy. That would be totally crazy. Let's see. Another question from Panama Snyder. Pudgy, is it true that Cobalt would have been able to spend $5,000 on equipment but your $15 a day by declares a day, totaling $4.50 a month. Put the brakes on there.
Pudgy doesn't know what you mean. Ah,
Let's see.
There's a hard cap on equipment spending, here at the Pudgy Show, and there is a total, and it's a case of like I said before, it's what we need versus what we want, and you can want all sorts of neat things, specifically with Elgato. There's a prompter device which is really great. It acts as a secondary monitor. You can program it for, not only it does your script, but it will also do stats on the stream and everything. And that sounds like a really good thing, but at the current level of the Pudgy Show, that's something we don't need.
Okay.
So Pudgy's like, oh boy, look at that thing, and I'm like, no, Pudgy, we can buy the special monitor, or we can go to the Italian Bear Bakery. And Pudgy always says,
bakery.
Okay.
Because you can eat desserts. You can't eat a monitor.
That's true. That would hurt your teeth.
Well, the groundhogs tried once, and they said that the monitor did not taste like mustard like they thought it was. And Pudgy's like, why would it taste like mustard? The monitor was made out of black plastic. And they're like, if Pudgy could understand if they thought it was black licorice, but no, they thought it was going to be tasting like mustard for some reason. Pudgy's like, why was it going to taste like mustard? That groundhogs, and they're like, well, we were watching some show. It was deep underground, and there was all these colorful Muppet characters dancing around, and there was these little green construction guys that would make bridges and other cranes and stuff with this translucent material, and all the stuff tasted like mustard. We thought it was the same way, and then Pudgy's like, Cobalt, does that sound familiar?
And Cobalt was like, dance your cares away. Worries for another day.
Let the music play down the Fraggle Rock. That Pudgy watched Fraggle Rock on YouTube, and Pudgy's like, wow, this is a great show.
A cinematic masterpiece, huh? Hello?
Alright, let's see. Random Outsider thinks Snore the Poopus Cuber was asking Pudgy if he was using his own quills. Oh, okay. Pudgy tried that once, and all it resulted in was Pudgy was covered in ink, and Cobalt said to Pudgy, go take a bath. Pudgy couldn't control him right. The scribbles went all in the different directions. It looked, especially like whenever Pudgy was rolling around, it was like there was a bunch of little dots all over the page, and then there was nothing, then a bunch of little dots, and then there was nothing, and then Pudgy got dizzy, and then Pudgy rolled into the river, and the beaver's like, Pudgy, what are you doing in here? And Pudgy's like, Pudgy covered Pudgy's self in ink and was rolling around on paper, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's get you back to Friendship Town, and then they got Pudgy back to Friendship Town.
Okay. Let's see. He says, why does Pudgy need 5 eclairs a day? Pudgy says 2 are for him and 3 are for Snort or Poopus. But Pudgy forgot to tell Snort about this, so Pudgy eats them himself. Pudgy.
Well, here's the thing, Phantom Outsider. When Pudgy makes eclairs, they're 1 to 2 inches long. And the bunnies and Pudgy and the field mice are like, oh wow, look at these giant eclairs. And whenever Snort or Poopus stops by Pudgy's house, then Pudgy paws out the eclairs. Snortopoopas is very nice and very friendly, and and smiles. And then he's like, "Okay, I need 1,000 more." Because 1,000 Pudgy-sized eclairs will equal 1 eclair.
Good point. Good point.
Now, if Snortopoopas starts making eclairs, that's gonna keep everyone going for a long time.
That's very true. Are the sharks with laser beams on their heads a need for Pudgy or a want?
Neither, because problem number 1, all the water that runs in the Friendship Town River and the Friendship Town Lake, that's fresh water. Now, Mr. Raven's a dolphin, and technically dolphins can go into fresh water, but the dolphin skin prefers the salt water, for a variety of reasons. So it's a case of he can swim up the river, but eventually he's like, Pudgy, I need to get back to the Ohio Ocean. Things don't feel right. And Pudgy's like, okay, bye, Mr. Raymond.
Good point. So sharks would be the same way. Sharks definitely need salt water.
Yeah, they breathe salt water. So if they get into fresh water, things go haywire. They can't last that long. Not that Pudgy would want them to last long. Do you realize how much a shark is gonna eat? They're gonna terrorize Beaver Town. It would shut down the river. The otters would be like, we gotta shut the port.
True.
Because the otters run the lock and dam on Friendship Town River, before it connects into the Allegheny River.
True. FKHC asks, Pudgy, rock boxers or briefs?
Well, here's the problem, everybody. Every so often, Pudgy finds the apple-bottom jeans with the boots with the fur, and then Pudgy gets trapped in the apple-bottom jeans and the boots and the fur, and Pudgy's like, Cobalt, you gotta save Pudgy from the apple-bottom jeans and the boots with the fur, and then Cobalt always says, Pudgy, you can go out through the top or go out through the leg. And sometimes there is boxers or briefs inside the apple-bottom jeans with the boots and the fur, and Pudgy's like, oh, look at this thingy, what does it do? And so... So that's the big problem. Okay, now here's the thing: if Pudgy needs sailboat material, definitely boxers, because it's easier to cut the seams and turn them into sails.
Let's see. So
there was that one time Pudgy found this weird thingy that was like a slingshot, and it was pink, and Pudgy's like, oh boy, someone found a slingshot.
Oh dear. So are you still the mayor of Friendship Town?
So far, yes. Every year, there is the official nominating process for Friendship Town. So basically, all the animals get together and say, okay, who wants to be the mayor? And everyone says, Pudgy should be the mayor. And Pudgy gets to be the mayor. Now, one year, the bunny rabbits said, we want to be the mayor. And Pudgy said, sure, go right ahead. And the bunnies are like, but we want to run an election. And Pudgy's like, okay, Pudgy will vote for you. And they're like, that's it? And Pudgy's like, yeah. You know what the mayor role is, everybody? And this is when Pudgy's talking to the bunnies and all the animals are listening. Whoever wants it gets it. And if you don't want to be the mayor anymore, you say, I don't want to be the mayor anymore. And then we have another election. It's real simple. And then the groundhog's like, we want to be the mayor. That way we can do a flat tax. And Pudgy's like, again, Pudgy has told everybody the taxes are 0% in Friendship Town. They're already flat because there are no taxes. And they're like, but if we lower the taxes, Pudgy's like, you can't lower it below 0. Even Pudgy knows that.
Only temperature goes below 0.
Isn't that the truth? Grandpa Bear and the other weather bears are saying that this year's winter is supposed to be really bad, and see, Grandpa Bear, whenever his back goes out, that means the temperatures are gonna go low, and if his hips hurt, then it's gonna be snow, and last week and the week before, Grandpa Bear's back has been acting up, and Pudgy, everyone in the forest knows. Okay, that means it's gonna get cold out. Now today, Grandpa Bear, he's just running around and having a good time. Nothing hurts anymore, so that means Friendship Town and the surrounding area is gonna be warm for a while, and that's good because Pudgy doesn't want to have to be gathering firewood every day, and running the wood stove 24/7, because that's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Let's see. FKHC says there are river dolphins, by the way, Pudgy.
Oh, that's good.
That's true. I thought a horse was the mayor. I don't think you have a horse in Friendship Town.
Well, yeah, there is a horse. He stops by every so often. No, he's never been the mayor, though.
Oh, okay.
We offered it to him the one year. He said no, he just wanted to run around and play.
Oh, okay. And isn't the main job of the mayor reminding Snortopoopas not to use the bunnies as TP, even though the bunnies told Snort stuff doesn't stick to their fur? And Snort snuffles.
Well, actually, the role of the mayor for Friendship Town is basically Pudgy acts as a mediator whenever people have disputes. And if they start yelling at one another, then Pudgy starts giving them hugs, and calms them down and serves tea and biscuits, and then eventually, either they're so full they don't remember anymore, or they're like, it doesn't matter. Pudgy, do you have any more cookies? And Pudgy's like, sure, Pudgy has more cookies. Here you go. Cookies fix everything.
Cookies fix everything. That is the truth. Just ask Santa. Maybe the horse's wife is the mayor. Oh, wait, she's the mayor. Oh, snort. Snort. Okay, so the next story is going to be...
it's going to be Land of Sorrow. The written original version of the story was 151 pages.
Mm-hmm.
COBALT started to go through and making the edits and formatting in script format. So generally, 3/4 of a page to 1 page is a chapter. So that means Land of Sorrow is probably going to be 150 to 200 shorts.
Oof.
So once we start ramping up the recording process, the COBALT say probably Land of Sorrow is going to start, if not next week, the week after, because we have all the remaining shorts for Christmas Catastrophe uploaded and set to a daily release for YouTube, and that's a really nice feature, everybody. You can upload multiple videos or multiple shorts into YouTube, and then whenever you get to the section to make them go live, you can schedule them, and then that way they come out at specific times and days. So this allowed Pudgy and COBALT to upload all the remaining chapters, short stories for Christmas Catastrophe, and the full version as well. So the last short is set to go live on the 17th.
Okay. Cool.
And then Pudgy's, we're probably going to do a couple more gaming shorts. Basically have a little break before Land of Sorrow starts, and then it's up for Land of Sorrow. So if it is it is definitely going to be a minimum of 150 shorts. and 88 turned out to be 3 hours, so that means Land of Sorrow is probably going to be 7 to 8 hours of total length for the entire story.
Okay.
Cobalt was telling Pudgy that the next time we start uploading fuller versions, because we're doing shorts first and then the full versions afterwards. Stitching together 88 shorts into one single episode was a little bit too much, so we're probably gonna back it down to maybe like every 30 shorts or so. It'll be a full chapter upload.
Okay. Now let's look into the far picture. I mean, I've read all your stories through the beginning of Friendship Town. Are there any more stories left in you, Pudgy?
Well, after the Pudgy's adventure to Japan and back,
Yeah.
because Crimson Dawn was the last series that was released as a written basis. There was something that was starting afterwards. It was the start of another Pudgy adventure, and Cobalt was having a lot of trouble releasing that for some reason. Cobalt, can you explain?
Okay, Pudgy. Basically, it was the big ending, and doing the ending was hard because you don't want things to end. So in the beginning there was all these little tales, and and the tales were actual events that they definitely did occur in the forest. And so whenever I help Pudgy edit and upload to YouTube for the story podcast, those little things, which were essentially flashbacks, were loaded as separate episodes into the podcast. So the initial 3 or 4 chapters worth of that story series was converted into standalone story chapters.
Okay.
So short answer, yes, there is something else that's going to happen. The original planned ending is not going to happen because Pudgy's still being very busy.
I can see that. Pudgy Incorporated is absolutely busy.
Yeah, something's happening in Puerto Rico, Cobalt.
Oh, God.
What?
What, Pudgy?
Pudgy does know. But Pudgy's been having these strange dreams.
Okay, Pudgy, we'll talk about this afterwards.
Okay.
At least Puerto Rico's closer than Japan.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Now, this is one that we dread every time you're on. The other guy. What precautions have you taken to prevent the other guy to come and visit us?
Oh, he's not coming back. Everything's fine.
Oh, what happened? What'd you do?
Well, okay. The last time Mirror Pudgy showed up was because he had a connection through Pudgy's computer. So there was an extra part that was in the computer that Cobalt took out and then smashed into 1,000 pieces and scattered across the entirety of western Pennsylvania. So, but see, here's the thing. Mayor Pudgy still had access to Pudgy's emails, so Pudgy gets emails every so often. Now, the good news, everybody, Mayor Pudgy's doing fine. He's over in the mirror dimension. He got a brand new job. He's making negative six figures. Rolling the dough. He went to the mirror version of Great Britain because that's where the main production hub for the studio that has the mouse.
Yeah.
They changed their name. Pudgy doesn't remember what their new name is, but whoever that Kathleen lady is, she's now like the president and CEO of the entire company. So they're working on the latest Star Wars chapter 17 or something. It's doing gangbusters.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so Mayor Pudgy's busy. He's making lots of money. He doesn't have time for silly shenanigans anymore.
Oh, good.
But Pudgy heard they fired Mayor Doomcock, so he's working in a warehouse now.
Oh, okay. Oh, the one I'm really worried about. What about the Emperor?
As far as Pudgy knows, based on what Mayor Pudgy was saying, Emperor Dolphin's still being busy. He's just he got into the sporting arenas now, so he owns a football team.
Oh, wow! I want to own a football team.
Yeah, he purchased the Dolphins, so now he has the only dolphin-based football team in the league, and because he is the emperor, the Dolphins win every year.
Mm.
So it turns out, okay, the Super Bowl is like, okay, you can play against the Dolphins and then you will lose. It's just like whenever the people play against the Harlem Globetrotters.
You lose that way.
Those guys are just happy. It's a paycheck. They don't care about winning. It's like, we just want to make the crowd happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But you hear the one year the Bears tried to win against the Dolphins, and the Emperor got a little bit annoyed with them, but he paid them off in the second quarter. He backed up the concession truck alongside the field and gave them unlimited hot dogs. And like, you know what? You can have the title. Go for the trophy. We don't care. We got hot dogs.
Sounds like Snortopoopus, Mere Snortopoopus owns the Bears there.
Pudgy doesn't know if there's a mirror snort. There probably is somewhere.
True. And he's probably just as ornery there.
Mr. Raymond, your microphone cut out. Uh-oh. One moment, everybody. Pudgy needs to run a test real quick. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, cookie. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's working. Okay, it really is the Pudgy Show. Welcome to the Pudgy Show. Yay! Sandra says we briefly lost power. Raymond is working his way back. Okay. Well, the good news is the channel's still alive, so that's a good thing. Okay, let's see. Legatus Legion I says, Pudgy, you have been playing many games. Which do you enjoy the most and why? Okay. Pudgy really, really likes Vintage Story. All right, Vintage Story is it's almost like Minecraft. So if you've played Minecraft, you know how to play Vintage Story. But see, here's the thing. Whenever you start playing Vintage Story, it is Minecraft with 1,000 times the detail. So if you ever played, if you ever played Minecraft, you log in and you can punch a tree, get some wood, you build a crafting table, and then you can almost instantly get tools. Well, in Vintage Story, it's a very logical based game. So where you get a pickaxe in basically 5 minutes in Minecraft, it takes 30 hours to get a pickaxe because it's like this big long epic quest chain. Because you have to make charcoal. You have to make clay forms to be able to smelt metal. You have to find copper, which is a very limited resource in the game. Once you find the copper and make the charcoal, then you can heat the copper up. You melt it. Then you have to make tongs and to pick up the crucible and put them to pour the metal into the molds, and you have to wait time for things to cool down. Every step of the process is difficult. Let's see. Ladad says, so Pudgy enjoys building things, sim games. Yes, that's correct. Yep. Pudgy played Pow World, which is another like build the base sort of the game, but there's Pokemon like creatures in it, and plus you also get heavy weaponry, rocket launchers, and guns, and other crazy things. V Rising was a vampire-based game. Again, you build a base, but then also you would battle creatures and crazy humans. As a vampire, that has a real nifty daytime, nighttime cycle. Pudgy also played for a while a game called Once Human. That game is really crazy with the base building mechanics, but the big problem with Once Human is that every 6 weeks you completely lose all of your progress because the world resets. So it's kind of hard to progress in that game because and Mr. Raven's back! Hooray!
Oh yeah, we just had a little. Gumby decided to. You thought the mirror Pudgy was bad. Gumby is kind of worse. In fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there. Okay, time for a Gumby. There, the logo is there. Because, all of a sudden, we're talking, Pudgy's pontificating. Next you know, I'm offline.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, snort. Gumby strikes again. Yep, that's true. All right. And we're talking about what games you enjoy?
Yeah, Pudgy was talking, Lagana's asked about what games does Pudgy like to stream. Yep. Pudgy really likes, the base building sort of games, first-person shooters, horror games, Pudgy's playing a wide variety of things. There's a really nifty game called Warframe. It's sort of like Destiny, but it's actually very nice to play.
Okay.
Let's see. Lagana says, which game in stream gets Pudgy the most views? Well, okay, this is where things get a little weird, because Twitch is a completely different animal in regards to to broadcast. Twitch is really good because it is like 99% of it is video game type streams.
Mm-hmm.
So, people that are there, they wander around. So the viewers will be watching one streamer, then they'll move around to other streamers, and so there's a lot of flux with the channels. There are people that watch the entire show, but it's also depending on, how many big time streamers are streaming that particular day. Because, some of the big channels, they're pulling like 5,000, 30,000, 50,000 viewers. And, if they're running a big event, basically they've taken the lion's share of the audience, and, Pudgy's views go down. Although, that being said, Pudgy finds that when Pudgy does vintage story streams, that does pretty good view wise. Also, whenever Pudgy's doing, something that is where Pudgy is able to interact more with the chat, that seems to do pretty good. So basically, Legatus, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's Pudgy does really good, and other times it's like, thank you very much, everybody. Pudgy's gonna log off, and there might not be any viewers. Chris, here's the other thing: when Pudgy was broadcasted over here on YouTube, Pudgy ran into the same exact thing. It just depends on who's broadcasting and what sort of people are watching. YouTube is better for like the Mr. Raymond channel. Interviews and comic book stuff. Basically it's not gaming. It is a lot more talking.
Okay.
Although there are a lot of people that do game on YouTube. It's just it's a case of what you're able to attract audience wise. Now there's another thing that's out there. It's something called Kick, and Pudgy doesn't know about that. Pudgy's heard good things about it and bad things about it. There is this is a technical thing. Cobalt.
Okay, Pudgy.
It is my great
All right,
honor to be the person
okay,
that
Pudgy.
says this and breaks this to you on television, but President Donald Trump.
Oops. Mr. Raymond was listening to the news there for a moment. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. There is something that allows you to multi-stream. And you can, now, Fett was using it the one time. He was using, it's called Restream.
Yeah.
And then there's another version, which is like a plugin that you can put into OBS. But, okay, here's the problem when you multi-stream. And this is, Pudgy asked me if we should do it, and so far the answer is no. And the reason why is this. Okay. Very technical explanation, everybody. All right. When you buy, or in my case, when I pay for an internet connection, and Pudgy says, Cobalt, can we stream? You have a download speed and an upload speed. And the big thing that you have to pay attention to is the upload speed. So now with OBS, you can configure the upload capacity, and you set it to bit rate. So basically, we have the bit rate set to 5,000, which means that it will take 5,000 times 2, 10 megabytes per second upload. So to broadcast to Twitch, we need at least 10 megabytes per second upload speed to be able to maintain a stable connection.
Okay.
And and to broadcast at HD level. Now, if we could drop it down, let's say 3,000, that would drop it down to like 720p, which would still be HD, but it would be a little bit more shaky and stuttery of a video. So, or you could set it to 2,000, which is standard definition. So basically, standard high definition, good broadcast audio and video, you need at least 10 megabytes per second upload capacity. Now, if you are using Restream or one of the multi-streaming platform services, you need 10 megabytes per upload. So you would need to have 10 for YouTube, 10 for Twitch, 10 for Kick, 10 for Twitter, 10 for Instagram, depending on how many platforms you want, and then also throw in the mix an extra 5 to 10 buffer just in case, just sometimes, it's not a stable connection between the various outputs.
Mhm.
So you would need to have a very robust internet connection to be able to support more than one. And if you don't, or worse, if the upload bit rate drops, then what would happen is one stream would take priority, such as the Twitch stream. That would look good, but it would be stuttering over on YouTube, and you might not have any video on Kick, but maybe a choppy audio, because the broadcast software is going to try to compensate for the unstable connection.
Okay.
So the short answer is we're sticking with one platform, because that way, while we have more than 10 megabytes per second upload capacity, we have enough of a buffer that if something were to go wrong, if there was a fluctuation on the network, it wouldn't affect the output.
Okay. Of course, that's all going over my head. I'm happy just using StreamYards and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
to do
Yeah,
most
because
of it.
just stream. The reason why the Mr. Raymond show did not drop when you disconnected
Mhm.
is because StreamYards is still set to live, so it's broadcasting from the StreamYard server to the YouTube server.
Right.
So in that scenario, everything's fine. The connection between the two are fine. Just it means that Mr. Raymond goes away, and then it becomes the Pudgy primary show.
Yep.
Of course, in our scenario, because we use OBS for broadcasting, if something happens to the software, or if the power goes out, well, the power out it doesn't apply here, but if something were to occur that would knock out the internet, the stream would go completely down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why I say that power is not of a primary concern is because I made certain to hook up APC units on Pudgy's setup. Basically, an APC unit is like a battery backup. So if the power does go out, Pudgy basically has 6 minutes of power to keep everything active and live before the battery runs out, and then the show would go off. And 99% of the power outages are like a couple seconds, like what happened with Mr. Raymond. So it sounds like you don't have one. They're like $50. You might want to look into it.
What is it again?
It's an APC, uninterrupted power supply unit. So APC UPS.
Okay.
Yeah, last time I went to Staples, it was like $70, but it had like 10 minutes of power. Yeah, it's a surge protector backup battery. So if the power goes out, just battery kicks on, everything keeps running.
Yeah. I think that's what we have down in our basement that fell apart on us. But let's see.
And this is the reason why Pudgy leaves all the technical stuff to COBALT.
Good idea, Pudge. Because sometimes I get a little confused too.
Let's see. Legata says live streams. It has always been a when you are live and whom else is live at the same time, as well as day time of the stream. Oh yeah, 100%. Pudgy's tried earlier streams like 6 o'clock. Pudgy's tried 8 p.m. streams. Pudgy's tried midnight streams. There are analytics pages that Pudgy is now sort of starting to understand, which is scary for Pudgy, because that means that Pudgy doesn't have to keep asking COBALT questions. So when Pudgy looks at the analytics, and it clearly shows that, okay, there are 3 people watching this game right now. Pudgy's like, that's a game that Pudgy should not play because there's only 3 people in the entire world watching that game. Although, okay, Pudgy asked COBALT, and COBALT said yes. So Pudgy could buy a game. It's in early access, so Pudgy knew right off the bat the game's not ready. They're still working on it. But it was a game called Demon Somnia. And when you watch the trailers, it looks really, really nifty. You're out in the middle of the Russian Siberian wilderness. There's snow every which direction. There's crazy monsters chasing after you. You got a pistol with 8 rounds of ammunition, and that's it. You gotta go and find thingies, and you gotta go find a ghost and defeat the demon. It looks really, really good. So Pudgy bought the game, knowing it was early access, knowing right off the bat that they're still working on this, and Pudgy started playing it.
Uh-oh.
And it was really, really, really bad.
And how much did it cost?
Well, luckily it was only like $13, so it wasn't it didn't break the bank. And Pudgy did play a whole lot of it, so Pudgy eventually did uninstall it because it was it's not ready whatsoever. Especially because at the very end, it turns out the reason why the game really wasn't ready is because it's one guy working on this game, in his spare time. Pudgy thought it was like a team of people, at least 2. No, it's one guy. So the last patch that he did, he added a boombox that played Russian pop music and a basketball minigame. And Pudgy's like, wait a minute, what does basketball have to do with demon hunting? Now, the good news is that Pudgy sent a message to the nice developer, and he was saying that they're working on it. Basically, they had to break it apart, start over from square one, and in 2026 there's going to be a full update where it goes to the brand new working version. So Pudgy's looking forward to it. And then there was another game that Pudgy was playing. It was called Turbo Chicken Simulator. Now, if you think the game sounds crazy, it is. Because you level up your chicken, and it has the chicken has a rocket thruster in its butt. So it makes it run really, really fast. But before you get the rocket thruster, you get a Udo. And you get to drive the Udo and drift it on the roads and run over foxes, in automatic turrets. But then you have to do all these chores and get these side jobs because you have to buy, you have to have chicken bucks to be able to buy gasoline for the Udo. And Pudgy's like, okay, but they knew that they didn't have a lot of content in the game because they were still working on it. But so unlike the Demon Somnia where they added Russian pop music and a basketball minigame, they added an epic quest line where you steal a truck from a guy, from a male chicken that's been sleeping with the other chicken's wife. And after you steal the truck, then you get access to to 5 different radio stations in the Udo, and they put all original heavy metal chicken music in the game, and Pudgy's like, wow. But they haven't done any updates for a year and a half, so Pudgy's like, oh, looks like they abandoned the games. But thankfully, Pudgy only spent $5 on that, so Pudgy got lots of chicken-related content out of that game, and so eventually, hopefully they actually add the story to the game because it never explains why you're on the island with the Udo and and you have to steal the truck and take it back to the Bates Motel. But of course they don't call it the Bates Motel, but it's all chickens in the game. Yeah, but so on Sunday of this week, Pudgy's going to be playing a new game. It's called The Light Keeper, and it's a horror game. It's set during World War I. So it's the tail end of World War I. The guy comes back from the war, And then he doesn't want to be near anybody, so he takes a job as a lighthouse keeper. And once he gets to the island, everything goes to heck. And it's also a puzzle game. Supposedly, you gotta keep the lighthouse going, otherwise ships are gonna crash into the island. And Pudgy's like, oh no! So but every game that game studio has made, everyone's been good. It's made by a game company called Dark Phobia. Like, the first one Pudgy played was a game called Amenti, and it's set in the 70s, and you drive to the pyramids. You're an investigative reporter, and you're trying to get into this one tomb to take pictures before everyone else takes it, and you go through the ancient pyramid, and mummies and demons and ghosts are everywhere, and then all of a sudden you find out that the ancient Egyptians were working with aliens, and then the aliens started chasing after you as well, and it was a really, really unique game for like $7. And then after that, Pudgy played a game. It was called Graveyard Shift. Same studio. It was sort of like Five Nights at Freddy's, because you had to monitor the security cameras. But then there's all these creepy guys and ghosts wandering around inside the cemetery, and then eventually, the big conclusion, you have to go underneath and get into the crypts, and you destroy a coffin, but it turns out the reason why the coffin was suspended from the ceiling is because that was the only way to contain the evil within, and you accidentally release the evil into the world, and then you die at the end of the game. And Pudgy's like, but everything was so original. Pudgy was entertained the entire time. Yes, Pudgy was screaming because there's a couple jumpy scares in those games, but Pudgy's like, oh wow, Pudgy would, Pudgy did not waste Pudgy's money buying those games. It was a lot of fun. They're atmospheric and 100% original. And then Pudgy turns on the television, and turns on to some of the more pop culture stuff, the stuff that Doomcock yells about. And Pudgy's like, oh boy, is this boring.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, that's definitely the way things are going, everybody. The short videos, for YouTube, the video games, all that stuff is a lot better than the other, typical boring stuff. Pudgy doesn't care about Star Trek or Star Wars or any of that stuff. All that stuff's over.
Yeah.
Now, all the original stuff is still good. Definitely still, Pudgy still watches that. Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan is awesome.
Good. Oh, yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is.
Yeah, that third Star Trek, where they had to go to that planet and get Spock off the planet, that was kind of weird. But, that's one of those movies they had to make it, because otherwise number 4 wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4 was the one, like, everyone's like, oh, I didn't know Star Trek was still around. Hey, is that a whale?
Yeah.
How'd they get him into a spaceship?
Transparent aluminum. Transparent aluminum. That made that guy so rich.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Raymond, this has been a wonderful show, but is it time for...
Yes, it is, Pudgy. It is time for. And welcome back, FKHC 2005. Let's see.
It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. Yeah, with Mr. Raven and Sandra too. It's time for show notes. We're bringing it on. It's time for show notes.
It's time for Sandra. Da, 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 da. It's time for What?
What?
That's
Okay.
That's part 2 of the song. It's time for Sandra. Feliciano. It's time for Sandra.
That is always true. All right. A week from today, we're going to have Fantastic Four reviews. The next couple of issues of Fantastic Four.
And we will finally learn how to sell shoes door to door and make $5.
That's true. That's true. Or get grit. We got to get grit. Whatever grit was. On the 24th, 2 weeks from today, Radio King Dolphin TV will return with the Not Ready for Pod Time players, and we will read the next sequence of All's Fair, a Dolphin Wars novel. The part will be Bridges.
And Randy Macho Man Savage will make a return.
I wish. And special programming note because of Yom Kippur on October 1st and 2nd, we will be doing the Wednesday show will move to Tuesday. Tuesday!
Yay!
Yep, so you will.
Terrific Tuesday.
Yep. So, yes, it will be moved to Tuesday. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but it will be on Tuesday. And then just because.
Hey, Pudgy has an idea. Sandra can make tacos.
Oh, tacos. Taco Tuesday on Tuesday. Yay.
And Sandra Summer is saying, you leave my name out of this story, Pudgy.
And then every Saturday will be Just Cuz. And Sandra's laughing in the background. Every Saturday is Just Cuz. And I will be having a signing event sometime in October. And also we'll be doing our four-year anniversary, 4 years of King Dolphin TV on October 8th. Yay.
Yay.
Yes. Yay. So I can't believe I've been doing this for 4 years. But and still having fun. Because if you don't have fun, it's no fun at all. Right, Pudgy?
That's right, Mr. Raymond.
All right, so that is show notes. All right. Well, let me thank everybody who has been here. Make sure anybody has come on. Taco Tuesday before Yom Kippur sounds interesting. Yeah. Let's see. No, wait, I gotta get the Snortopoopas picture up. Snortopoopas has been showing us these pictures of them, he says.
It's time for Sandra. Da, 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 da. It's time for Sandra. As Mr. Raymond pushes the button, it's time for Sandra.
Okay. It's actually on the 23rd FKHC, so I got about another couple weeks. Let's see. September is really confusing me on my calendar. Okay, Snortopoopa says, take care, every human, dolphin, doggo, dolly, ferret, eagle, hedgehog, and Guadalupe fur seal. GM, a wholly owned subsidiary of the DolphinWars.com. And here is courtesy of Snortopoopas, a Guadalupe fur seal.
Oh.
Kind of cute. It's kind of cute there.
Yeah, that was before Snortopoopas invited him over for lunch.
Uh-huh. Or is it invited him to be lunch? Yes. Well, I don't see any num num, so we will see. There it is. Om nom nom. Check. Working. Working.
Let's see. If Pudgy scrolls back in the chat, okay, Pudgy's able to see all the nice people who stopped by the Mr. Raymond show tonight. So,
Yep. Okay. So we've got. Where did it go? Oh, that's right. It died on me. It died on me when the power went out.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, FKHC 2005, for stopping by. Thank you, Snore the Poopus, for stopping by. Thank you, Legatus Legionite, for stopping by. Thank you, Phantom Outsider, for stopping by. Let's see. Thank you, Sandra Feliciano, for stopping by.
And I couldn't have done it any better than you, Pudgy. Thank you very much.
Pudgy's still scrolling. I did.
We got FKHC, we got Legatus, we got Sandra.
Yeah, that was all. Yeah, that was all the chatters. There was also some other nice people that stopped by, but they didn't say anything. Thank you for stopping by.
Yep,
And remember, everybody, subscribe to Mr. Raymond here on YouTube. Yay!
Yay! Let's see. 11 days out from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. He's on his cell phone right now, Tim. Tim says, great interview, Pudgy. And Snorter Pooper says, wonderful show, Pudgy. I agree totally. This was a fantastic show. It has been too long, my friend. Too long.
Yeah.
I missed you. I missed you, buddy.
Pudgy had lots and lots of fun. Thank you very much for the invitation tonight, Mr. Raymond.
You are most welcome. As I said, I missed you guys. So
Yes, thank you very much, Raymond.
Yep. All right. So everybody, you guys have a great evening. Be safe. Stick around, guys. Be safe. Be well. And we will see you on Saturday for Just Cause.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Mr. Raymond Show. Yay!
Yay!
This is the